Coming to you straight from Open Goal headquarters in Times Square, New York. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dave. And thanks for following us or listening to us on SoundCloud, all of our local listeners.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. You're tuned in to Open Goal, your source for all things New York soccer. Pardon the voice. We're going to do as much as we can to talk about the New York soccer scene and see what's been going on this last week of New York soccer. Dave, your take on the last week?
Well, the last week has been pretty crappy. There's been nothing. MLS decided not to schedule any games. I don't know what the hell Don Garber was thinking. So unfortunately, there's nothing to talk about.
That's a great way to put it. Pretty crappy, right, Dave? Yeah. Well, both clubs in New York had an idle week in Week 5. I believe New York Red Bulls sits at second in the Eastern Conference. New York City FC has fallen to 5th. Not a great outlook, but let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures for both clubs.
Yeah,
Red Bull New York will be traveling to DC.
They'll be traveling to DC for the second game against DC, the second game in 3 weeks, which will be a little awkward in terms of scheduling. But both teams are looking pretty good at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and predict a 2-2 tie. DC United hasn't scored in the first half yet this year. I think that'll change at home in front of the crowd. But the Red Bull offense has been looking pretty awesome. So I'm going to say 2-2 for this weekend. What about you, Joe?
I'm smelling a draw as well. I'm going to say 1-1. Though being on the road, of course, always tough to pull out a win and score a lot of goals. So I'm going to say a draw at a goal apiece. On the other side of the Hudson, New York City FC is traveling to Philadelphia to visit the Union at PPL Park. My honest prediction is going to be a 1-0 loss to the Union. I think that New York City is going to have a lot of trouble. They're not in great form these days, are they?
No, they're definitely not. But neither is the Philadelphia Union. Pretty unlucky against Kansas City last week, giving them 2 goals in extra time. I think that a lot will be dependent on whether David Villa is ready to go for this weekend. But I'm seeing another tie, as is the case in most MLS games this year. So 1-1 is what I'm seeing for NYCFC.
I think City FC is going to help Philadelphia break that unlucky streak. But we'll see. Both games taking place tomorrow, April 11th. Taking a look on the other side of the East River, the New York Cosmos have been in action. That's New York NASL team, right?
Yeah, and the Cosmos won their season opener 1-0 over Ronaldo's Fort Lauderdale Strikers. It was an interesting affair out in Fort Lauderdale. Maurer, the keeper, had a pretty big game, keeping it close until they were able to score off the corner kick there at the end of the game.
Raul being evaluated for an injury, apparently.
Yeah, reports yesterday say that he should be back in time, ready for the game, which is good for Cosmos. I think that is what most people are looking for when they come out to see them. So.
Well, they'll be at Indy taking on the 11, and that's always going to be a tough one. They draw big crowds. They're a solid club. That also taking place tomorrow, April 11th. And then they're actually going to have their home opener on April 18th at Hofstra Stadium, hosting the Tampa Bay Rowdies at that glorious Hofstra Stadium.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely get a big crowd out in the island. Hopefully they'll pull out a big W against the Rowdies in their home opener.
Well, they could use all the help that they can get, given that they're trying to get their own stadium built. Ambitious plans for that grand old stadium. I think plans make it look better than RBA.
I wouldn't go as far as saying it's better than RBA, but it's been 2 years and New York really doesn't seem to care about their stadium. So I don't think their hopes are looking too good really for the stadium. Although I really like the Coney Island, the Coney Island proposal is pretty cool.
That being, they're playing at the Mets single A affiliate on their baseball field. I mean, New York City FC can't even get their own stadium. You can't imagine that the Cosmos are going to get one. So, speaking of stadiums and clubs, New York City FC just had their 16,000th season ticket sale.
It's pretty impressive. As a Red Bull fan, I don't really want to talk about what our season tickets are at.
I mean, if you check out the social media and see what City did with that as well, David Villa himself delivered to the supporters their season ticket packages. It's really cool, right?
Yeah, I'm predicting a Zlatan Ibrahimovic delivery of the 16,000th season ticket
Right,
for Red
because
Bull Arena.
Red Bull haven't sold their 16,000th season ticket yet. So, where are you guys at? How many season tickets have you sold?
We've sold enough.
Enough. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of fans, let's talk about some of the voices, the comments, and questions from you, our followers, around the internet. On Instagram, our follower, Ofical_Youngs, with a Z, says, "Dope. Check the link in at Jose PSO. We snapped fire emoji, 100 emoji."
Yeah, I'm not really gonna get into deciphering what that meant, but we appreciate the comments.
Keep them coming.
In the Twitter sphere, a comment or a response that we got was from AlphaCon/Sith Lord. He quoted our tweet and said, "Meet me." To explain that a little bit, the Third Rail had a featured member of the month, and Robert was that member, so we retweeted the Third Rail, and we all like you to meet our follower, Robert. So check him out.
He's a great guy. We actually got a chance to meet him. I'm a Third Rail member, so I met him at one of the Third Rail meetings. Great guy. Check out the featured member section if you get a minute. Now we're going to get to our famous lightning round, where each co-host will give you their opinion on some hot topics of the day and some not so hot topics as well. And we'll take the help of one of our assistants on the lightning round questions whenever you're ready.
Question number 1. Will you buy a Cosmos Awesome Blue third alternate jersey? Question number 2. Will NYCFC ever get their own stadium? Yeah, there it is, thanks. Will NYCFC start earning points again?
No.
Question number 4. Will RBNY clinch the Atlantic Cup? Can NYCFC get in on that Atlantic Cup action?
Oh, come on. Come on.
Will Sky Blue FC of the NWSL beat Kansas City this weekend? Okay. Something you guys can agree on. That's pretty good. Will Open Goal go to any Red Bull games? Red Bull 2 games?
Yeah, it says 2 if you read it.
Well, I was gonna ask both. Anyway, did Dave try to grow out his beard /neared from this week?
Did he try? Yeah.
Did he succeed?
That's a lie.
And that closes our lightning round for this week.
Remember, you can give us your answers in the comment section, or you can tweet your answers to us. Find us on social media and let us know what you think. That's all we got for Open Goal this week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for subscribing and following. And remember, there are only 29 days left to the New York Derby. I'll see you, I guess, at Red Bull Arena that day. But until then, I'll see you in the Bronx.
See you in Harrison.